And a very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Homecoming 2022 on the campus of Brevard College. Homecoming football game, highly anticipated matchup between the Brevard College Tornadoes and Methodist University. This will be a very compelling contest between these two teams, as the Tornadoes coming off a 31-13 win over Greensboro last Friday evening. And Tornadoes now hosting Methodist. These two teams couldn't be more similar, 2-2 in the all-time series. The games have come down to the wire the last three meetings. I mean, literally in the last minute, the game was decided. And these two teams battle for a bunch of recruits every offseason. So in many ways, this is a bit of a rivalry game where the winner will have the upper hand in the recruiting battles here in the USA South. So a lot on the line, not to mention a ton of festivities. And a lot of excitement here around homecoming. We've got Cody Sinyard, the alum who played a pregame concert in the tailgate zone. We have another alum heading up here to the press box to sing the national anthem. We've got alumni Ray Gill handling public address. And a lot of excitement surrounding this year's homecoming and this contest, and the Tornadoes trying to hit their stride now that USA South Conference action is underway. Tornadoes hosting the Methodist University Monarchs. Tornadoes under the direction of head coach Bill Kyatt in his sixth season. So stick with us. We'll bring you all the action, all the pregame festivities, and much more. Tornadoes and Monarchs USA South Conference action coming up shortly.
Probably one of the prettiest places on the earth. And to come to somewhere where it's such a tight-knit community, where everybody has your back, I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else at bigger schools.
I like to go hang out in the coffee shop, sit outside at the picnic tables, maybe do a little bit of homework there, and just socialize because there's always somebody that I know there.
Brevard does make it easy to come here. The admission process is very simple.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Luis Alvarez, Guadalupe, Arizona.
Dalton Cole, Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Jaden O'Leary, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Jordy Wilkinson, Washington, Wilkes, Georgia. Jonathan Woods, Huntsville, Alabama.
Cooper Hogan, New London, North Carolina.
Andrew Tarleton, Denver, North Carolina. Zach Orr, Charleston, South Carolina.
Marcus Lane, Sumter, South Carolina.
Deshaun Curtis, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Jeremy Rudolph, Orlando, Florida.
Rackton Petrie, Orlando, Florida. Zion Cower, Grovetown, Georgia.
Devin Tanner, Meriden, Connecticut.
Reginald Taylor II, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Adam Douglas, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Jordan Rao, Charlotte, North Carolina. Go Tornadoes.
Antonio Damos, Tarpon Springs, Florida.
Cedric Brooks, Portland, Oregon.
Jacob Reed, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Eli Carr, Asheville, North Carolina.
Miles Hayes, Northport, Florida.
Thomas Kramer, Clearwater, Florida.
DJ Taylor, Lawrenceville, Georgia. Go NATO. Mitchell Yoder, Columbus, North Carolina.
Matthew Vu, Collins Springs, North Carolina.
Dustin Stevens, Cullowhee, North Carolina.
Chancellor Parker, Atlanta, Georgia.
Alan Wilfong, Newton, North Carolina. Freddie Aiken III, Hardyville, South Carolina.
Devontae Murray, Murphy, North Carolina.
Josh Blackstock, Dublin, Georgia.
Todd Norman, Mooresville, North Carolina.
Andrew Bullard, Charleston, South Carolina.
Dakota Grimsley, Trinity, North Carolina. Hayden Schnell, Oakwood, Georgia. Justin Parker,
Inca, North Carolina.
Brandon Unex, Forest City, North Carolina. Hank Tart, Camden, South Carolina. Brody Lindsay, Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Roger Rucker, Hartwell, Georgia.
Jared Smith, Asheville, North Carolina.
Darrell Smith, Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Bryn Marsh, Huntsville, Alabama. Go NATOs.
Jamie Tinsley, High Point, North Carolina.
Sims Watley, Anderson, South Carolina.
Ryland Cheney, Owensboro, Kentucky.
Dominic O'Brien, Huntersville, North Carolina.
Wyatt Lakeford, Shelby, North Carolina.
Luke Dodson, Brevard, North Carolina. Go Tornadoes.
Steve Victoriano, Roxford, North Carolina.
Josh Whetstone, Kernersville, North Carolina.
Andrew Bishop, Hickory, North Carolina.
Logan Jones, Grover, North Carolina.
Trey Williams, Gwinnett County, Georgia.
Moses Perkins, Jacksonville, Florida. Obadiah Grimes, Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Joshua Garner, Newbern, North Carolina.
Jeff Manning, Inverness, Florida.
Reese Rubio, Beaumont, Texas.
Noah Allen, Trinity, North Carolina.
Bailey Ramey, Yakinville, North Carolina.
Toby Naylor, Southampton, England. NATO Nation, let's ride.
Eli Everhart, Thomasville, North Carolina.
Brooks Ashford, Orangeburg, South Carolina.
James Woods, Lincoln, North Carolina.
Ben Ellis, Mooresville, North Carolina.
Nicholas Clark, Asheboro, North Carolina.
Bryce Easter, Grand, North Carolina.
Jake Haig, Orlando, Florida. RJ Everett, Johns Creek, Georgia.
Quincy Okoga Jr., Macon, Georgia.
Ashton Crooks, Mooresville, North Carolina.
Colby Yancey, Monroe, Georgia.
Jamil George, Dallas, Georgia.
Quintrell Bowman, Rothboro, North Carolina. Go NATOs.
Kentra Holloway, Roxborough, North Carolina.
Tyler Harrison, Franklin, North Carolina. Cameron Moore, Miami, Florida.
Jock Pledger, Monroe, Georgia. Go Tornadoes.
Taylor Willis, Northport, Florida.
Brady Penn, Loganville, Georgia. Let's go NATOs.
AJ Richardson, Fayetteville, Georgia.
Dylan James, a.k.a. Champ, Gainesville, Florida. Go NATOs.
Montrell Stinson, Maine, North Carolina.
Zion Barslow, Houston, Georgia.
Jerome Bass, Red Springs, North Carolina.
Wilson Bone Jr., Jacksonville, Florida.
Emmanuel White, Deltona, Florida. Willie Manuel, Mobile, Alabama. Terrion Burgess, Sumter, South Carolina.
Ernest Smith, Barnwell, South Carolina. Let's go Tornadoes.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First, we'll look at the visitors from Methodist. And the Methodist offense. Brandon Bullens, one of the top quarterbacks in the USA South, gets the start. Also, keep an eye on number 2, Keyshawn Sardin Pete. Big play potential from Sardin Pete. That'll be an emphasis of the Tornado defense. Kenneth Hicklin plays one wide receiver. Mikal Baldwin at another wide receiver spot. Kobe Prelo, one of the more prolific receivers in the USA South. keep an eye on Prelo throughout this game, number 3. Tobias Johnson is the tight end, and then the offensive line, Connor Graham, Jack Coleman, Nick Wiggins, Caleb Dow, and Tyler Dawson. Now let's take a look at the Methodist defense. Defensive line, Bradshaw, Elliott, Voiles, and Boyd. Linebackers, Christian, Harris, Haynes. And the defensive backs, Bradford, Hill, Grady, and Great. Let's take a look at the Tornadoes starting offense. Miles Hayes getting the start once again at quarterback. He had sort of a coming out party on Friday night versus Greensboro. Mitchell Yoder at the running back position. Jonathan Woods and Dalton Cole, the wideouts in the starting lineup. Tight end Jaden O'Leary, he had a huge game against Greensboro as well. Starting halfback, wearing number 44 once again today, Chancellor Lee Parker. And then the offensive line for the Tornadoes, right tackle Andrew Bullard, right guard Hayden Schnell, center Todd Norman, left guard Justin Parker, and left tackle Brandon Unix. So there's your Tornado offense. Now let's take a look at the Tornado defense. Defensive lineman Trey Williams, Ernest Smith II, and Wyatt Langford. Jerome Bass and Koger are the outside linebackers. Toby Naylor and Reese Rubio, linebackers on the inside. Starting cornerback Cameron Moore is out with an injury, so James Woods will get the start at one cornerback, while Jock Pledger starts at the other. Also out with an injury, Montrell Stinson. Dylan James. We'll see him along with Jameel George, Taylor Willis, and several others in that defensive backfield for the Tornadoes. But a couple key pieces missing for the Tornadoes, so we'll see if some of the other NATOs can step up in that spot, because this is a lethal Methodist offense that the Tornadoes are gearing up against. This has been an outstanding rivalry, 2-2 in the all-time series since the Tornadoes joined the USA South. The last 3 meetings have come down to the final minute of the game. And these two teams will square off once again this afternoon on a homecoming Saturday at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Thanks for joining us. Great moment here as the 1982 national championship team, the newest members of the Hall of Fame at Brevard College Athletics, are introduced to the crowd. Nice ovation from the faithful here at Brevard College, and appreciate all their work celebrating the 40th anniversary of a big national championship, first of 4 national championships for the Tornado cross country team, and great to see members of that team back here for homecoming as we continue to approach the start of or the pregame festivities as we head towards kickoff Methodist and Brevard. What should be an outstanding matchup. What a glorious Saturday afternoon here in the mountains. Chamber of Commerce weather for this homecoming matchup, Tornadoes and the Monarchs. And glad you're able to join us wherever you may be tuned in from. Stick with us. Brevard Methodist USA South Conference action coming up shortly. counting down towards Methodist and Brevard. Homecoming football game between the host Tornadoes and the visiting Monarchs from Methodist University. This game has huge implications as far as the landscape of the USA South. And just moments away, and now the Tornadoes heading onto the field and the excitement beginning. To get that much more electric here. Huge crowd. In fact, we expect a record crowd. As the NATOs and the Methodist Monarchs that much closer to getting started here.
Campus minister. Let us pray. We are grateful to stand in this space on the beauty of this day and in this moment. We pray your blessing upon everything that takes place here. Every down for every coach, every student athlete, every trainer, cheerleader, everyone involved in this space, including refs. We pray your blessings that everything that is done is to the greatness of this moment, and we give thanks now for safety and your care. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time, please remain standing and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem performed by 2018 Brevard College alumnus and Western North Carolina-based actress Lily Bartleson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Outstanding rendition there of the national anthem by Lily Bartleson. Appreciate her Also alumnus Sherrod Kreisman with today's invocation. Now heading out to the coin toss. So we'll see the coin toss between these two teams. Tornadoes in their blue. And the Methodist Monarchs, as their team enters the field now in the white jerseys. So Tornadoes won the toss and have decided to receive. So Brevard College will receive the toss. And we're going to start with the football here. So ready to get rolling here as the Tornadoes have been gearing up for this contest since concluding that Friday night win over Greensboro under the lights. And ready to get started. Tornadoes and Monarchs. Tornadoes under the direction of head coach Bill Kyatt. And Coach Kyatt and his staff have been preparing for this game since that 31-13 win over Greensboro. That game was played under the lights on Friday night. Originally scheduled for last Saturday, moved to Friday night due to Hurricane Ian. And meanwhile, Tornadoes off to a 1-0 start in USA South Conference play. The Monarchs are 1-1 in the USA South Conference, 2-3 overall. Trevor Hargett will kick off. And Cooper Hogan, the deep man, along with DJ Taylor. So number 0, DJ Taylor, deep. And toe meets leather, and we are underway. And Cooper Hogan with the return along the far sideline. Hogan still going all the way across midfield. He's knocked out of bounds. And Cooper Hogan all the way to the 47-yard line of the Monarchs territory. And some great starting field position right away for Cooper Hogan and the Tornadoes. So getting started here, Miles Hayes, who had that outstanding performance versus Methodist, opened that game 10 for 10. Dalton Cole, number 7, veteran presence. Checking with the sidelines as well. Always got to kind of keep an eye on Cole with that quarterback experience. Meanwhile, it's a little bit of a conference for the referees. Perhaps an injury momentarily on the far sideline there, but looks like we're all ready to go at the 47-yard line of Methodist. 8 seconds elapsed on that Hogan kick return, which went 45 yards. Cooper Hogan. Yoder in the backfield. Hayes hands off to him. And Yoder with a big push by the right side of that offensive line. Able to move forward. Gang tackled there, but he moved a whole pile himself. Gain of 6. And it'll be 2nd and 4, so great start for the Tornadoes. The big kick return by Hogan. And then some power running by Mitchell Yoder behind the right side of that offensive line. 2nd and 4 from the 41 of Methodist. Cole, Woods, O'Leary, some of the options split out. In the pass to Woods in the flat, that's going to be a first down. He's gang tackled, and he's able to get past the sticks. That'll be a gain of 6 and a first down for the Tornadoes. So 2 productive plays for the Tornadoes. Drum line starting to pump up the crowd here. An incredible crowd here on this homecoming Saturday. Venture to call it a record crowd at Lamel Family Field. Meanwhile, 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes at the 36. Woods in motion to the left. Little shuffle pass. Hayes to Cole. Cole with an opening. Cole beats one defender, then takes on another. And a big-time gain there. What a nifty play call. Hayes finding Dalton Cole on the shuffle pass. Then Cole able to find an opening. Once again, that right side of the offensive line doing a great job as well. Guys like Andrew Bullard. LaRodrick Rucker, that right side of the line. Some nice blocking there. And another first down for the Tornadoes. So now 1st and 10 from the 16. Shotgun snap to Hayes. Rush here to Chancellor Lee Parker. And Parker's brought down a very short gain. So we'll call it a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 from the 15. Tackle there by Alex Boyd. Devontae Murray now in the backfield. Hayes with a little bit of a fake there, a little misdirection, and ends up finding O'Leary. That was his big target against Greensboro. Meanwhile, Christian Ellington able to drag down O'Leary, and this is the first 3rd down situation thus far for the Tornadoes. 3rd and 5 from the 10-yard line. The 5-yard line is the yard to gain. And Hayes will line up once again in the shotgun. 4 wide, and also Dalton Cole in the slot. And you've got a tight end also on the near side. Hayes drops back, looking for Cole. Had an opening there, overthrowing Cole just barely there, and that'll be a 4th down situation. And the field goal unit will head on to the turf here at Lamel Family Field. Stamati Damalos, one of the top field goal kickers in the nation. So we'll call this a 28-yard kick as Akis will handle the holding duties for Stamati, and he pushes that through the uprights, and from 28 yards, field goal is good. Tornadoes 3, Methodist 0, as the Tornadoes strike first here. A 7-play, 37-yard scoring drive set up nicely by that big kickoff return by Cooper Hogan. Your score, Methodist trailing Brevard 3-0, early going, homecoming 2022. Back here at Lamel Family Field after that scoring drive by the Tornadoes, a 3-0 advantage for Brevard, the home team. A lot of excitement here for this homecoming contest. And kickoff by Nick Akis. And the up man there is absolutely smothered. Chancellor Lee Parker leading the way. And this was the scouting report on Methodist. Do not kick it to number 3. The kickoff returner, one of the most exciting players throughout the USA South Conference, Kobe Prelo. Now we'll see Prelo on the receiving end. And this is one of the more accomplished wide receivers in the history of the conference, and he is a main focal point of the Tornadoes defensively and on special teams, but nicely done there as far as that special team strategy goes. Now Bullens back to pass for Methodist, and intended receiver there was Sardin Pete from the backfield, and Pledger had a great jump on it. Pass breakup for Jock Pledger, 2nd and 10 for the Monarchs. 23-yard line where the Monarchs getting things started here. Bullens. Handoff up the middle. Once again, Sardin Pete. And short gain there after the tackle by Naylor. So it'll bring up a 3rd down situation here. We'll call it 3rd and 7. Toby Naylor, Jerome Bass, Trey Williams, Ernest Smith II, Wyatt Langford. And Tornadoes showing blitz momentarily, now a quarterback keeper, and he's going to be stopped short of the sticks. There is a flag on the field, so we'll see what this is all about. It's way back in the backfield of Methodist. And it's going to be against the Monarchs. So that'll be declined, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation. So penalty is declined. Looked like a holding penalty after Tornadoes' defensive line was coming strong. And that'll bring up a 4th down. So 3 and out by the Tornadoes defense. And that'll bring up the punting unit for Methodist. Trevor Hargett will punt. And Cooper Hogan deep for the Nados. Check that, it's Pledger. Pledger makes one defender miss. What a move by Pledger. And then Pledger across midfield. So whether it's the kickoff return by Hogan, the punt return by Pledger, 2nd straight drive that the Tornadoes will start in Methodist territory. What a move there by Pledger. Pledger has gotten it done already with a pass breakup on the defensive end, and then a impressive punt return there. And back to action here. The Tornadoes offense resetting. Freddie Aiken the 3rd in motion. Hayes back to pass. Hayes finds O'Leary, and O'Leary's going to be tackled for a tackle for loss. That was well snuffed out by the Monarchs defense. A stoppage of the clock here, and looks like the flag is going to be picked up. So there was a flag on the field as well, but it'll be waved off, and we'll get growing here. 2nd and 12 after the 2-yard loss on the pass play. Tackle there by Josh Hill, also Bradford. 10-10 to play here, quarter number 1. 2nd and 12 for the Tornadoes. Rush up the middle. It's Chancellor Lee Parker. He gets back to around the original line of scrimmage, perhaps a little bit beyond, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 9 situation. So 3rd and long, tackle there by Harris of the Monarchs. So a little bit tougher sledding so far compared to that opening drive for the Tornado offense. And now a 3rd and long situation. 3rd and 9, 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun snap to Hayes. Hayes under heavy pressure, and that's going to be a quarterback sack. Hayes' helmet's actually ripped off in the process, and there's a flag. So Tornadoes may get the benefit here of a personal foul after Hayes had his helmet ripped off as part of that quarterback sack. And we'll see what the call here is as referees conversing here. And it's going to be, in fact, a personal foul, face mask on the Monarchs. That'll be an automatic first down, and the Tornadoes benefit from a Monarchs mistake. And just like that, the Tornadoes able to benefit from for the first down, and that's a costly penalty. That would have been a 6-yard loss on the sack. It would have also been 4th down, and the Tornadoes would have had to punt. And now the Tornadoes with a first down, net gain of 21 yards on the play. Oh, my. So 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes from the 32-yard line. Dalton Cole in this set. Interesting formation for the Tornadoes. Now split out to the right is Zachary Orr. Cole with the rush to the left side. So they've used Cole in a couple of creative ways, both times effective, and Cole able to get a nice gain there on first down.
Brought down by number 14, Isaiah McMullins.
Brought down, looks like out of bounds, so the clock stopped. Meanwhile, 5-yard gain. And it'll be 2nd and 5. Mitchell Yoder in the backfield. Cooper Hogan split out to the left. Snap here to Hayes. By the way, Cole was the quarterback that last time around. Hayes came off the field after his helmet came off. Meanwhile, that's first touch for Dustin Stevens. Dustin Stevens, the sophomore from nearby Cullowhee, North Carolina, Smoky Mountain High School. 8:18 and counting here. Another third down situation. 3rd and 9 last time there was a quarterback sack, but that was nullified by a face mask penalty. Tornadoes now with Murray in the backfield. Hayes fakes to Murray. Now looking left, and a vertical attempt there to Zachary Orr, just beyond the reach of Orr. And some oohs and ahs from the audience here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. And meanwhile, this is going to be a long field goal attack for Damalos. So 47-yarder. Saw him make one from this range earlier this season en route to a Special Teams Player of the Week nod. But this one is going to miss, a little short and a little to the left. So Tornadoes will have to hand the possession back to the Monarchs. Monarchs in their own territory. 7:51 to play. Tornadoes 3, Monarchs 0. Back to action here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Bullens trying to get the Monarchs offense going, and what a hit there by the Tornadoes. Tyler Harrison, ladies and gentlemen, the nickelback for the Tornadoes. And the Tornadoes defense, after a 3-and-out in the first possession by the Monarchs, Tyler Harrison. Good golly, Miss Molly. What an individual effort there by Harrison. Now 2nd and 9. Rush here. And able to push the pile here. Jerome Bass eventually took down the ball carrier. And that'll bring up another 3rd down situation.
Brings up 3rd and 4. Fans, let's hear it for your Tornado defense.
3rd and 3. Pass there, nobody home, and 2 straight 3-and-outs by the Tornado defense. And that'll bring on the punting unit again for the Monarchs. Bullens with the pass to Prelo, just absolutely blown up by Harrison. And then Grimes and Bass with a tackle. Then great job defensively forcing that incompletion. Meanwhile, second punt of the contest and as many possessions for Hargett. And here's Pledger. There's a flag on the field. And that ball bounces all the way down at the 11-yard line, but we'll see what the flag's all about. Well, what a job by this Tornado defense against a, at least on paper, very impressive Methodist offense. Still waiting to see what the flag's all about. And it's going to be on the Monarchs, so that's fortuitous for the Tornadoes because that punt took a serious Monarch bounce and landed all the way at the 11-yard line. But this is the second instance where a major Methodist penalty has affected their field position, and they'll have to regroup again and see what the leg of Hargett can do this time. And another opportunity for Jock Pledger, the punt returner. Tornadoes coming off that 31-13 win over Greensboro. And a punt here from the 17-yard line. And it's off a Tornado body there. And that was a precarious situation that could have resulted in a turnover, as one of the Tornadoes' special teams unit that grazed off his thigh. Ball was loose for a second, but got to hand it to the Tornadoes, able to jump on that loose ball and keep possession. Meanwhile, another instance of the Tornadoes starting a drive in very good field position. 2 have occurred in Methodist territory, and now this one at the 49-yard line of Brevard. So Hayes at the quarterback position. Hayes rolls out to his right. Now he sends this deep to Jonathan Woods, and off the fingertips of Jonathan Woods, the oohs and ahs from the crowd once again. There's been a couple of those already for the Tornadoes. Really no one at fault. You can't call these drops because just oh so close fingertip type situations. Second and 10 from the 49. Rush here to the left. That's Devontae Murray. Murray across the sticks. That's a first down rush for Devontae Murray, ladies and gentlemen. Big time rush there. Hill ultimately brought him down. Murray, the junior from Murphy, North Carolina, Murphy High School. And just like that, another first down for the Tornadoes. Cooper Hogan checking back in.
That's the Brevard College first down.
33 in the backfield.
Stevens in the backfield, and Stevens will get the rush, and nice hole there by the interior part of that offensive line to bust open an opportunity for Stevens. Tackle there by McMullins, we believe. Also Christian in there. Second and 6 from the 35. rush here to the right side. So Tornadoes running game effective thus far. Third and 4 for the Tornadoes. And Miles Hayes from that shotgun position. He's got 2 receivers split out to the left, 1 in the slot as well to that left side. Now DJ Taylor in motion to the right. Now he goes the other direction, finding Grafton Petrie. And Petrie able to take on a defender for a couple of extra yards there. That's going to be a Tornado first down, third down conversion. Tornadoes in the red zone once again. So 1st and 10 from the 14. And rush here up the middle. And brought down at the 10-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 6 from the 10. 3:13 in counting here in the first quarter. Tornadoes have to be happy with this result thus far. Seventh play of the drive here, and Chancellor Lee Parker, that'll be good for a first down. Well, let's see. Actually, there's a flag on the field as well, so we'll get all this sorted out. But effective run there by Chancellor Lee Parker. We saw Lee Parker have a big game last week versus Greensboro, sort of a coming out party. We saw him make a big play on special teams already. And scored a touchdown, in fact, against Greensboro. The transfer from Mars Hill, Chancellor Lee Parker. But a mistake here by the Tornadoes. It's going to push back Brevard. So this will suddenly be a 2nd and long situation from the 20-yard line. It looks like either an injury or a equipment situation. So Todd Norman checks out. He's the starting center. Josh Blackstock checking in. So we'll see if we can get Norman all situated. He's actually meeting with one of the athletic trainers on the sidelines. And Blackstock will handle the center duties at the moment, at least. Pass here in the flat, and Mitchell Yoder very close to the goal line. He's going to be stopped at about the 1. Grady eventually brought him down. Another flag on the field, far side, so we'll once again get this sorted out. Now, the Tornadoes had a holding penalty on that Chancellor Lee Parker rush of 9 yards. And now after this gainer by Yoder, and we'll see what the penalty is. And it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Methodist. So it'll be half the distance to the goal. The Tornadoes were already down there near the goal line. They'll get that much closer. And it'll be 1st and inches. 1st and goal for the Tornadoes. Yoder in the backfield. Hayes actually under center. Hayes hands off to Yoder. Yoder goes up and in. Touchdown, Mitchell Yoder. Mitchell Yoder with the touchdown for the Tornadoes, who take advantage of, once again, good field position. And Yoder with the touchdown, the senior from Columbus, North Carolina, Polk County High School. Monty Damalos in for the extra point. And the kick is up and good. So just like that, the Tornadoes with a 10-0 lead here. 2 minutes, 4 seconds left to play in the first quarter. An 8-yard, 51, or check that, 8-play, 51-yard drive. Just over 4 minutes of elapsed time, so some nice ball control offense. Running game did a lot of that. No doubt about that. Also that big pass play to Grafton Petrie, the tight end, for 19 yards, a key part of that equation. And the Tornadoes have stormed ahead to a 10-0 lead here on this homecoming Saturday, to the delight of the home crowd. Back deep, a couple of the weapons of Methodist, Craylow and Sergeant Pike. And meanwhile, this ball takes a fortuitous bounce, and that might be covered up by the Tornado special team, and in fact it is. What a play by the Tornado special teams. Jack Haig, number 45, covered it up. That kickoff took a bounce, the sort of bounce you see on some of these onside kicks, and then Jack Haig was able to smother it. And by the way, these kickoffs are being handled by Nick Akis, the backup. Akis, the punter for the Tornadoes, has not kicked off since high school, and he just gave the Tornadoes the best possible situation they could ask for. 1st and 10 now, ahead by 10 at the 28. Tornadoes pass out here to the flat to O'Leary. O'Leary then takes on a defender, and that'll be good for about 3-4 yards. Haynes eventually brought him down. But this Nick Akis story is really compelling. Hugo Taylor, who has been handling kickoffs all season long, out with an injury. Akis called into duty with just about 24, 36 hours of notice. They put him on a crash course to get him up to speed with collegiate kickoffs. And just like that, he's able to send a knuckleball there that bounced in the direction of Haig. Meanwhile, rush here to Aiken. Aiken to the left side. Monarchs are able to snuff that out, but another flag flies. Now helmets flying off as well. A little bit of extracurricular. Elliott stopping things up the middle. Tornadoes crowd not happy. See what the flag's all about. And it's going to be a personal foul on the Tornadoes this time. Looks like a face mask penalty on the Tornadoes on the offensive end. So costly penalty here. Now, we talked to Coach Kyatt about these penalties and kind of being your own worst enemy heading into the Greensboro game. That was much improved last Friday. But this is exactly the sort of thing that really puts the Tornado offense obviously at a huge disadvantage. .111 left to play, quarter number 1. And an official's timeout at the moment, as making sure everything is sorted out here. This is going to be 2nd and Tennessee from, we'll call it 2nd and 21. from the 39-yard line. Hayes, O'Leary in motion. Play action. Hayes looking downfield, throws it deep into coverage, and the ball bounced out for a moment. There was an opportunity there as that was headed in the direction of Woods. Orr was there too. Orr almost got the deflection, so a bit of like a tip drill effect going on there. We've had some serious oohs and ahs from the crowd here on some of these long balls, these deep shots by Hayes that have just missed. Meanwhile, 3rd and 21 from the 39. DJ Taylor checking in. And a timeout on the field. Coach Kyatt's going to regroup here. 3rd and 21 from the 39 when we return.
I've taken jumps in my academic career, and I've taken jumps in just socializing and getting out and getting to do things I've never done before.
The thing that brought me to Brevard is the experiential learning. I've always been a hands-on guy.
I love it here at Brevard. Over Christmas break, I was itching to come back because I love the area so much.
Experiential learning here is beyond all of my expectations.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Back here on the campus of Brevard College, Ives Lamel Family Field. The festivities of homecoming continue. Women's soccer was in action last night, a 1-1 draw against Southern Virginia. Pep rally following the game got the student body fired up, and it has bled over to today, a Hall of Fame ceremony earlier today, and now the Tornadoes with a 10-0 lead. But a long way to go. We're still in the first quarter. 3rd and 21 coming out of the timeout. Zachary Orr in motion to the left. Shuffle pass here, so the Tornadoes played a little conservatively. See if they can bust something, and they almost do. But there's flags on the field, so we'll see what this is all about. Little shuffle pass to Devontae Murray. But this may be coming back. And we'll once again see what the ruling is. And it's going to be a false start on the Tornadoes. That's declined. Now a holding on the Tornadoes. So there were 2 flags, and the holding penalty will be enforced. So this is going to back them up all the way to the 49-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and 31 from the 49. Oh, my. Third and 31. Hayes drops back. Hayes over the top pass there to Woods, and Tornadoes punting team will head onto the field. Joe Powell. So with Nick Akis moving to the kickoff duties, our first look at Joe Powell as the punter. Powell's the freshman from Brevard, North Carolina, Brevard High School. Interesting rotation of the kicking units here for the Tornadoes. And here's Prelo, first returnable kick for him, but the Tornadoes are all over him. And with 2 seconds left here in the first quarter, looks like Joe Powell did his job, the freshman from Brevard, and Methodist will get started. At the 15-yard line, so nicely done there, Joe Powell, local product, and getting it done. 6'4" freshman. First and 10 for the Monarchs. Rush here to the left, and ankle tackle there. Very nicely done. Koger with a big-time tackle there. We've been calling his name a lot last couple games. And that'll do it for the end of the first quarter. Brevard with an excellent start here on homecoming. Still 3 quarters to go, but a great start here, quarter number 1. Your score, Tornadoes 10, Monarchs 0.
I've taken jumps in my academic career, and I've taken jumps in just socializing and getting out and getting to do things I've never done before.
The thing that brought me to Brevard is the experiential learning. I've always been a hands-on guy.
I love it here at Brevard. Over Christmas break, I was itching to come back because I love the area so much.
Experiential learning here is beyond all of my expectations.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Back here at Islamel Family Field, heading towards the start of quarter number 2, and it's been all Tornadoes. A 7-0 advantage in first downs for the Tornadoes. 104-14, the advantage in total yards. Meanwhile, second and 11 for Methodist, and dangerous go at it there for Bullens. Woods was there defensively for the Tornadoes, almost with a takeaway. Bullens considered one of the top quarterbacks in the USA South Conference, and right now being absolutely limited. 3rd and long for the Monarchs. Bullens rolling out to his right, and it's going to be another 3 and out for the Tornado defense. Tornado defense have not given up a first down. And as we mentioned, just 14 total yards allowed. We're already in the second quarter. 0 for 3 now on 3rd down. So Tornadoes getting it done defensively in a big way under the direction of defensive coordinator Shane Nelson. Now here comes yet another punt for Hargett. Pledger, the deep man for the Nados, standing right around midfield. So another opportunity here for the Tornadoes to have some great field position. This takes a funny bounce, and then Pledger downs it right there at the 50. So this will be the 4th drive for the Tornadoes to start right around midfield. And we'll see if the Tornadoes can capitalize offensively again. So far, Miles Hayes, 7 of 12, 69 yards. And we mentioned Bullens, the quarterback of Methodist. He's just 1 of 4 for 1 yard. So 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes, moving right to left on your device. Hayes. Inside handoff there to Chancellor Lee Parker, and he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, so 2nd and 10. Elliott with the stop. Jaquez Elliott, sophomore from McClenny, Florida, Baker County High School. 315 pounds he's listed as. So 2nd and 10 from the 50. And Cole in motion, and he handoff to Cole. Cole now looking to pass, and he's able to pass ahead to O'Leary. What a play there. We've seen Cole used all sorts of ways. We mentioned earlier, be aware of Cole. Started his career here with the NATOs as a quarterback, the Hendersonville native. And what a play there by Dalton Cole. First down for the Tornadoes, 1st and 10 from the 20. And rush here, and rush there by Murray. He's stopped. But what a play there by Cole. Cole already has a catch for 20 yards. He's got a rush in this game. Now he's got a 30-yard pass to his credit. 30-yarder to Jaden O'Leary. O'Leary picking up where he left off on Friday night versus Greensboro. Meanwhile, 12:48 to play here, quarter number 2. Hayes able to find Cole. Cole went up high to bring that one down. Dalton Cole just getting it done in all areas. The West Henderson High School product has a big following locally here between Henderson County and Transylvania County. Always a large number of Dalton Cole fans in the building. So now 3rd and long for the Tornadoes. 3rd and 9 from the 19. Hayes going vertical again. That's going to be out of play. Well defended there, as Woods was the intended receiver. Looked like Delvin great there defensively. A conference by the officials. We don't see any laundry on the field. And actually, it looks like an ineligible receiver downfield will be the penalty on the Tornadoes. It's declined. So Methodist wants to send the Tornadoes into this 4th down situation. That'll bring up a field goal opportunity here as Stamati Damalos will attempt a field goal here. He already has one made field goal on this Saturday afternoon. This one from 36 yards. 12 minutes on the clock here in the second quarter. Kick is up. And no good. So Tornadoes not able to capitalize with that field position there. And the Monarchs will take over offensively. See if the Monarchs can get anything going offensively, as the Tornadoes defense has absolutely muzzled them thus far. Well, glad you're able to join us. So many festivities happening here on the campus of Brevard College. Hall of Fame induction. Cody Sinyard, the pregame tailgate concert, rocking and rolling out there in the tailgate lot. Golf tournament benefiting the baseball program earlier today. Men's lacrosse alumni game, basketball alumni game, women's lacrosse alumni breakfast, pep rally last night. What a time to be a Tornado. Rush there. Sard and Pete. And we mentioned, the scouting report was limit Pete. He now has 4 carries, less than 10 yards total. Bullins, the quarterback, considered a major factor heading into this game. 1 of 4 on the day, 1 yard. And Prelo has been limited. Prelo was especially noted as a major threat for the Monarchs. He's been limited so far. Just one catch for 1 yard. Meanwhile, another third down situation here. Tornadoes have held the Monarchs to 0 of 3 in these situations. Flags down and incomplete there. We'll see what the flag's all about, however. Flag on the far side of the field around the line of scrimmage. 135-9 total yards, Tornadoes with the advantage. An 8-0 advantage in first downs. So offsides the penalty, so another opportunity here for the Monarchs.
Fans are here for your Tornado defense.
3rd and 9. Heavy pressure there, and that's going to be a quarterback sack by the Tornadoes. Ernest Smith the second. The junior from Barnwell, South Carolina, Barnwell High School. Another third down stop. Monarchs now 0 of 4 in that category. And the Tornadoes defense with a big-time stop once again. Just a dominant performance. Punt here. And out of bounds. A very short punt off the side of the foot there of Hargett. And this is going to give the Tornadoes outstanding field position yet again. Officially a 20-yard punt. And the Tornadoes see if they can capitalize on this field position now. 1st and 10 from the 37 of Methodist. Hayes, handoff here. Mitchell Yoder, quality carry there near the marker. Yoder already has a touchdown today. He gave the Tornadoes this 10-0 lead with a 1-yard rush back at the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Meanwhile, 2nd and a long 1 for the Tornadoes here at the Monarchs 29. Hayes in the shotgun position. Handoff here once again to Yoder. Yoder able to find an opening. That's going to be a first down and then some as he's pushed out of bounds down near the 7-yard line. Josh Hill eventually got him out of bounds, but that's going to be a quality carry there. Over 20 yards by Mitchell Yoder. Yoder, the senior from Columbus, North Carolina, Polk County High School. Keeping this Tornado train rolling. 1st and goal from the 7. Hayes under center this time. And carry there for Murray. Andrew Bradshaw with the tackle there of Murray. Bradshaw, sophomore out of Orangeburg, South Carolina. 6'5" defensive end. Meanwhile, 8:50 to play here. Quarter number 2. Yoder to the right of Hayes. Hayes hands it off to Yoder, and a little bit of misdirection there, but snuffed out well by Grady of the Monarchs. That's going to bring up a 3rd down. Grady, safety from Conway, South Carolina. Red zone opportunity here for the Tornadoes. $8:15 and counting here, quarter number 2. 15 on the play clock. Now 10 on the play clock. Hayes takes the shotgun snap, able to elude one pass rusher, and then pass intended for Zachary Orr. Some of these just near misses have been off the fingertips of the Tornadoes wide receivers. No fault of theirs, but that one you could call a drop. And the Tornadoes will have to regroup here with, once again, the field goal unit. And Stamati Damalos will this will be officially a 28-yarder from Damalos. It is up and good. So Tornadoes extend their lead even further. 13-0. Tornadoes on top. Nick Akis will tee it up once again. And Akis, the sophomore from Rock Hill, South Carolina, Northwestern High School, thrown into this kickoff duty, and so far has done a very admirable job. Very little notice. He had not kicked off since high school. Kick here. And Tornadoes there once again on the kickoff coverage. Floyd Eady, the freshman from Pamplico, South Carolina. So the Tornadoes have done a great job avoiding Kobe Prelo. That was part of the scouting report. This lethal kickoff returner, punt returner, / wide receiver. Prelo has been absolutely limited. Akis has done a brilliant job with these kicks. And then the kickoff return coverage unit has gotten down the field so rapidly and made the tackles as well. Great job by the special teams under the direction of Jack Wellenhofer. 7:47 to play here. And rush there. Keyshawn Pete with the carry. Harrison with the tackle. Pete out of Tampa, Florida, Wharton High School. And nice job defensively. Pass breakup there by the Tornadoes. Pass was intended for Johnson, broken up by Pledger. He's had a couple of those already. And another 3rd and long situation for the Monarchs. This job by the Tornado defense, just superb so far. Now 0 of 4 on 3rd down. Methodist still looking for their first 3rd down conversion and their first down of the game. Have been absolutely blanked by the Tornado defense. Dropping back here is Bullens. And incomplete. And that'll be another 3 and out by the Tornado defense. Defensive coordinator Shane Nelson and the Tornado defensive staff directing this group of Tornadoes, and they have just been lights out, blanking the Monarchs. 0 points, 0 first downs, 0 3rd down conversions. Another punt here for Hargett. Pledger deep once again. Pledger's going to field this at the 46 with a fair catch. So another great starting field position by the Tornadoes. (161-7), the total yard advantage for the Nados. 9-0 in first downs. Video game type numbers here at Ives Lamel Family Field so far. We're only in the second quarter. A rush here to the left. And Mitchell Yoder with the carry. Short gain there. Bradford with the tackle. Mitchell Yoder. And part of what's made this work for the Tornadoes, productive running game, 62 net yards rushing. 2nd and 8 from the 43. Hayes. Handoff here to Dustin Stevens. Gang tackled right around the line of scrimmage. We'll call it no gain. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. Tornadoes, meanwhile, in that 3rd down department, have struggled a bit themselves, 1 of 6. A couple of those have resulted ultimately in field goals for the Nados. 5:50 to play here, quarter number 2. 3rd and 8 from the 43. Hayes in the shotgun. Drops back. Eludes a couple rushers, and then he's going to be brought down. That's the first sack of the day for the Monarchs defense. So each team with 1 sack thus far. Andrew Bradshaw with the tackle. He'll be credited with the sack. And Tornadoes punting unit, once again, Joe Powell make his way to the Ives Lamel Family Field turf. Deep is Prelo. And down by the Tornadoes. So once again, they avoid Prelo, limiting the exciting return man of the Monarchs. And the Monarchs will get started once again offensively. Tornadoes defense getting back after it here. They've just absolutely blanked the Monarchs so far. Meanwhile, rush here. And gain of about 5 there by Pete. Bass brings him down. Jerome Bass, senior linebacker out of Red Springs, North Carolina. Red Springs High School, one of the more decorated defenders for the Tornadoes. 2nd and 4. From the 21, Bullens. And we'll see what the call here is. And it looks like they're going to call that a completion and then a fumble. So actually call that a complete pass and then a fumble. Big hit laid there by the Tornadoes. Toby Naylor in the middle of all that. And just like that, another 3rd and long situation. Now 3rd and 9. Quick stoppage of the clock. Now cranking it back up are the officials. 3:43 and counting here, quarter number 2, 3rd and long, once again for Methodist. Flags are down. Meanwhile, throw here. And we'll see what the flag's all about. And maybe the first down of the game. In fact, the first down for Methodist right there on that pass play. And now another flag. It seems like these flags might have to do something with the Tornado sideline. And we'll try to get this all sorted out for you. Meanwhile, the first down of the contest for Methodist. And it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Tornadoes, so they'll march off some more yardage. 3:33 to play here against the Monarchs. And Tornadoes now with closest thing you could consider momentum for the Methodist offense. Tornadoes defense now have to regroup, 1st and 10 after that penalty. Big hit there. James Woods, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lamel Family Field, folks. What a hit there by Woods. Sophomore from Lincolnton, North Carolina. Now, Woods got called into the starting lineup after the injury to Cameron Moore. Woods getting the start today and delivering the Woods. 2:45 to play here, quarter number 2. And seemed like Tobias Johnson feels like he was feeling the footsteps coming behind him. That was Jock Pledger. And another 3rd down situation. Methodist now 1 of 6 on 3rd down after converting that last 3rd down pass to Hicklin from Bullens. Now see what the Methodist offensive coaching staff dials up. Bullens back to pass. Able to find his favorite target, Prelo, in the flat. Prelo's able to turn it upfield, very close to the marker. And we'll see what the spot is here. This is very close to the marker, but it will be a 1st down just by the nose of the football there. And back-to-back 3rd down conversions, back-to-back 1st downs for Methodist. Methodist starting to hurry it up a little bit tempo-wise as well. Rush here and thrown down to the ground. Jerome Bass, the tackle of Bass. Meanwhile, some extracurricular there. One of the offensive linemen of Methodist looked like Connor Graham was way upfield, and he was grappling with Eli Everhart. Starting to get a little testy here at Lamel Family Field. You can hear some of the crowd in their displeasure. Now whistles. And it's going to be a timeout by the Tornado defense. So the Tornadoes will reset here. 2nd and 5 from the 43 for the Monarchs. 13-0 NATOs.
I've taken jumps in my academic career, and I've taken jumps in just socializing and getting out and getting to do things I've never done before.
The thing that brought me to Brevard is the experiential learning. I've always been a hands-on guy.
I love it here at Brevard. Over Christmas break, I was itching to come back because I love the area so much.
Experiential learning here is beyond all of my expectations.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Grand total of 8 accepted penalties so far. It's been a bit ugly at times, but it's been all Tornadoes, 13-0 on the part of the scoreboard that matters most. Meanwhile, 2nd and 5 here coming out of the defensive timeout by the Tornadoes. Rush here to Pete. And nice open field tackle there by KJ Dagout. Dagout is another one of those defensive backs, due to some injuries, elevated up the depth chart. We mentioned Cameron Jones out with injury, also Montrell Stinson, and KJ Dagout, the sophomore from Mount Holly, North Carolina. Big open field tackle there. That'll bring up a 3rd down situation. Almost intercepted. Dylan James not only almost pulled down that interception, but there was a lot of open field ahead of him. And a 3rd down stop there. Kind of interesting decision here for the Monarchs at this portion of the field. You very well could go for it here. Perhaps keep an eye out for a fake punt. But it looks like the Monarchs are going to play it conservatively and punt. And that's down there. And it's going to be tough field position for the Nados with just a minute and 5 left here in the 2nd quarter. Back to action here. Just 65 seconds left to play before halftime. And Hayes with a lateral there to Murray, and he's gang tackled. And now a timeout by Methodist. So perhaps the strategy here was pin the Tornadoes back with the punt and then use your timeouts and see if you can get a 3-and-out and reset offensively for perhaps something at the end of the half. But certainly you could have gone for it there on 4th down if that was your prerogative. 13-0 Nados. Two field goals by Stamati Damalos, both the exact same distance, 28 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown run by Mitchell Yoder. That capped off an 8-play, 51-yard drive back in the 1st quarter. It all adds up to a 13-0 lead for the Nados. Second and 8. Mitchell Yoder getting the handoff there from Hayes, right up the middle. And clock stops again, so it looks like this is exactly the strategy of the Methodist coaching staff. That'll bring up 3rd down. So if they can get one more stop here, use their final timeout, they will indeed get the ball back with some time on the clock here in the 2nd quarter. Well, glad you're able to join us wherever you are tuning in from. What a day here at Brevard College. Current temperature, 65 degrees, beautiful blue skies, color on the trees here in the mountains. Just a beautiful day. So 3rd down. And Hayes under center. Rush here. And that's going to be a 1st down for Mitchell Yoder. And that's a key 1st down because that's certainly extinguishes that Methodist strategy of trying to force a 3 and out and get the ball back via the punt. And this should result in the Tornadoes taking a healthy 13-0 lead into halftime. By the way, Methodist will get the ball to start the second half. Hayes, 10 on the play clock. Takes the snap. Handoff here. Yoder. And Yoder's brought down by Roderick Christian. And that'll be the last play of the first half. So stick with us here. We're going to have a special halftime ceremony. And then we'll come back with the second half of action. Tornadoes with a 13-0 lead here at Islamel Family Field. So
last night's pep rally, the 2022 homecoming court was crowned. Let's meet this year's homecoming court. First up, the BC Jester.
the homecoming court being announced here. Part of the homecoming celebration. A.J. Richardson, the homecoming jester. In fact, the jester not even present for this photo op. He's part of that football team.
Homecoming prince and princess are Logan Southern and Haley Lane Miller. Logan is a sophomore from Asheville, North Carolina, majoring in criminal justice. He is also a member of the football team. Haley Lane is a sophomore from Chapin, South Carolina, majoring in exercise science and minoring in coaching. She is a member of the cross-country and track teams. She is also the Student Government Association treasurer. Last but not least, the 2022 homecoming king and queen are Gabby Galvin and Jamarcus Walker. Jamarcus is from Seneca, South Carolina, majoring in business and organizational leadership with a minor in coaching. He plays for the men's tennis team and is
So the homecoming court announced.
College homecoming prince is known as some as Mr. BC. Gabby is from Hendersonville, North Carolina, majoring in business and minoring in Willie with hopes of becoming an event planner. She is a senior RA in Beam Hall as well as this year's Student Government Association president. Congratulations. Let's give a big round for the 2022 homecoming
So the
court.
2022 homecoming court, A.J. Richardson, Logan Southern, Haley Lane Miller, and Gabby Galvin and Jamarcus Walker as well. And we're going to transition now to another special presentation as making their way to midfield. 1978-79 men's basketball team, they gathered here as part of this homecoming under the direction of head coach John Meyerhoff. And they're making their way to midfield here. This team went all the way to the NGACAA National Tournament in 1979, won a school record 26 wins along with a regional title. And they're back here for this special photo opportunity.
This special team, under the direction of head coach John Meyerhoff, advanced to the NJCAA National.
And they're being honored here. So some cool stuff here around homecoming. And the Tornadoes continuing to celebrate this homecoming celebration with a 13-0 here lead here at halftime. And nice ovation there for the reunion of that basketball team.
The Brevard College Wilderness Leadership and Experiential Education program is the most distinctive in the nation. I think one of the reasons why is because it is so focused on experiential education in addition to the outdoor education component. They are developing their leadership skills out in the field with each other.
My internship was on Schooner Lynx. She's a 122-foot topsail schooner. She's a replica of an 1812 privateer. My job on Lynx this summer was a deckhand, and because of the skills that I've learned at Brevard College, such as program planning and lesson planning and different techniques to teaching to different ages and different types of people, I was promoted to the job of educator. This summer, my professor, John Buford, knew that I'd be at sea quite a bit, and he really worked with me. And when I would come into port, I would call him, he would always answer. He was really quick to respond with my emails, and not just to say I got your email, but he would talk about what was going on and ask me questions. And it was really cool to have somebody like that to support me for the summer and really help me succeed.
You should come to Brevard College in the Wilderness Leadership and Experiential Education program because you will become a leader, a strong, ethical leader. And that can be applied to any field, anywhere you go, whatever you do in your professional career. And it'll be a whole lot of fun as you learn those skills.
Anybody who is interested in leadership skills and outdoor skills should definitely think about Brevard. It's an incredible place and a great place to be a part of.
One of the hardest things that every college student experiences when they first come to college is, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to study? What am I going to be good at? And here at Brevard, you can take a music class, a wilderness education class, environmental science, English, anything. unique experiential education. You meet with your professors, you meet with students that you actually see every day. You get to excel in the subject that you chose.
Finding a way to mix my passion for mountain biking, art, and career together really happened during my internship.
You should come to Brevard College because you will become a leader, a strong, ethical leader. And that can be applied to any field, anywhere you go, whatever you do in your professional career.
Here's a recipe for success here. It's great.
Before I got to Brevard College, I didn't know what experiential learning even was. We have all the rivers, Pisgah National Forest, DuPont State Forest, just all the resources are around us. So the location is why environmental studies is so great here.
With experiential learning, it's not always field-based. We do quite a few things in the lab as well, so you get opportunities to do hands-on research in the lab. But whenever possible, when you can get outdoors and see what's actually happening, it's different based on the conditions that are outdoors, and you can never predict those. So a day that it's raining and cold, you're going to see different activity levels among the animals and plants than if it's a day that's sunny and warm. The courses that I teach are all based in the outdoors. My specialty is biodiversity, so I teach a course in biodiversity, but I also teach courses that are unique to the area that are called Plants and Animals of the Southern Appalachians. Here at Brevard College, one of the things that we do really well is interact with these students who are undergraduates in a way that prepares them for graduate programs. That's what we can do at Brevard College. We can get these students who are interested in a particular area, help them find a path that is tying together their interest with what our background, the backgrounds of the professors can do, and then position that student in a way that few undergraduates can be positioned to go on to a graduate program or to go directly into the field.
Back here at Islamel Family Field, all Tornadoes in the first half, 13-0 the score, 10-3 advantage in first downs, total yards 178-37. Tornadoes getting it done both on the ground with 79 rushing yards, 99 passing yards, and really limiting the Methodist offense to just 3 first downs, 22 rushing yards, 15 passing yards. And the key factor heading into this game was limiting Kobe Prelo, star wide receiver. Just to put this in perspective a bit, Prelo, through the first 5 games of the season heading into this matchup with the Tornadoes, 714 receiving yards. That's an average of 142 a game, 4 touchdowns. Today he's been limited so far through the first half to just 3 catches for 9 yards. Also has been limited in the return game. He has not returned a kick. The Tornadoes have been very intentional about that and has returned just 1 punt for 4 yards. Tornadoes offensively, quarterback Miles Hayes, 8 of 15 for 69 yards. And Mitchell Yoder leading the way on the ground, 9 carries, 54 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Murray has carried the ball 4 times along with Dustin Stevens. Chancellor Lee Parker has 3 carries. Jaden O'Leary once again leading the Tornadoes on the receiving end, 4 catches for 37 yards. Tornado special teams have done a great job. Joe Powell in the punting duties, Nick Akis kicking off. Kickoff and punt return coverage have been excellent. Stamati Damalos has kicked a couple of field goals. Jock Pledger and Cooper Hogan, each with considerable returns, both in punt and kickoff. And we are ready to roll here. Third quarter just about to get underway as the crowd settles back in here at Islamel Family Field. Tornadoes just have done a great job on the defensive end, and they'll be on the field here as Methodist will receive this opening kickoff. Now, the Tornadoes were able to recover onside at kickoff. So once again, Nick Akis will handle the kickoff duties here. Hugo Taylor has been handling kickoffs all season long, out with an injury. Akis called into duty very last minute and has done a formidable job so far. But once again, the idea is to avoid number 3, Prelo. And fielded here by Pete. And Pete is a factor as well. Scouting report told you to look out for number 2, look out for number 3, where there's number 2, Pete, with the return. Eventually brought down by the NATOs. But this is the best starting field position by far for Methodist coming out of halftime. So Methodist will regroup here. Brandon Bullins, the starting quarterback, the junior Bullins. Bullins targeting Hicklin there. And Pledger was there on the defensive end. KJ Hicklin, the sophomore receiver from Charlotte, North Carolina. So Bullins now 4 of 13 for just 15 yards. The Tornadoes pass defense. Down a couple starters, by the way. Cam Moore and Montrell Stinson both out with injuries, and the pass defense for the Tornadoes has just been exceptional. Some of these other players who have stepped up into these roles, guys like KJ Dagout and James Woods. Langford with the tackle there. Meanwhile, some different personnel checking in for the Tornadoes defensively.
Brings up third down. Let's hear it for your Tornado defense.
And another third down situation here. RJ Everett back into the contest on the defensive end. Methodist 2 of 8 on third down. Pass here, complete to Pete, and loose ball there caused fumble. We'll see who comes up with it. And Methodist is going to somehow come up with that loose football. And ball was ripped away a couple times by the Brevard player, but it's given to Methodist. Short of the marker. So fourth down and 1. And once again, the punting unit. So this is the second time that very well the Methodist coaching staff could go for it on fourth down, especially down 13-0. Keep an eye perhaps on some trickery, but no, they're going to send the ball downfield on the punt and once again pin the Tornadoes back about the 11 or 12 yard line. Be first and 10 for the Tornadoes coming back the other way. So Tornadoes will regroup offensively. Miles Hayes 8 of 15 for 69 yards in that first half. Dalton Cole also had a pass play on a bit of a trick play. That was good for 30 yards to O'Leary. Meanwhile, rush here for Yoder. And tackle by Haynes. Well, Tornadoes men's soccer team continued its winning ways with a win at Mary Baldwin this afternoon. Congratulations to them. 5-2 the score there. Brevard 13, Methodist 0. Hayes, pass there in the flat to O'Leary. And O'Leary is brought down by a Methodist defender. Injury on the field, so we'll take a quick break with it. 12:29 to play here, quarter number 3, Tornadoes 13, Monarchs 0.
I've taken jumps in my academic career, and I've taken jumps in just socializing and getting out and getting to do things I've never done before.
The thing that brought me to Brevard is the experiential learning. I've always been a hands-on guy.
I love it here at Brevard. Over Christmas break, I was itching to come back because I love the area so much.
Experiential learning here is beyond all of my expectations.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Third down situation here for the Tornadoes. Have to be careful here with this kind of field position. Third and 12 from the 10. Woods and Cole. Hayes drops back. Lays it off to Yoder in the flat. Yoder turns upfield. He's going to be stopped just a couple yards short of the first down marker, but that does give you a little more breathing room in terms of the punt game, but Not what the Tornadoes were looking for in terms of this possession. So Joe Powell, the freshman from nearby Brevard High School. Powell sends the return man back, and this punt's a dandy all the way down inside the 20. That's a 62-yard punt. Joe Powell, the freshman. What a boot. Completely flipping the field. And again, Powell, this isn't his regular role. He's been pulled into duty here, being the starting punter as they've shifted around the kicking unit. Akis going from the punter position to the kickoff role. And now Powell. What a boot. So Monarchs will try to get something going here and able to make the play there and turn up field. That's the most significant play by Kobe Prelo. We've been talking about him a bunch and how the Tornadoes have been limiting him. Injured Tornado on the field. We'll see if we can pick up the number there. Meanwhile, stop of the clock after that Prelo first down. Officially a 61-yard punt by Powell. Great job by the Tornado special teams so far this evening. Tyler Harrison was the Tornado shaken up a bit. He's heading to the sideline on his own power, so that's good to see. Meanwhile, Tornadoes head 13-0 under 11 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Pass here once again to Prelo. Reese Rubio with the tackle. So Methodist trying to get Prelo into the game a little more after he was absolutely shut down in the first half. Reese Rubio, good job there in space. Rubio, that senior from Beaumont, Texas, comes from that incredible high school football scene in the state of Texas. Rush here by Pete, and he's brought down there by Grequencio Koger. Now, Koger, we've been calling his name a lot the last couple weeks. He's continuing to emerge as a key factor on this Tornado defense. The graduate student from Macon, Georgia, Northside High School, transferred to BC from Iowa Wesleyan. So goes from middle part of the country to the mountains here in western North Carolina. Pass here to Prelo again. So once again, Methodist intentional, trying to get Prelo going, and then the Tornado is just a wall in the middle of the field. And Harrison leading the way there, the nickelback for the Tornadoes. Tyler Harrison, such a big part of this Tornado defense as well, the senior from Franklin, North Carolina, Franklin High School. And another stop there for the Tornadoes. Punting unit yet again onto the field. This will be the 8th punt. Already the 8th punt of the game, and we're just 6 minutes into the third quarter. Fair caught there by Pledger. And Tornadoes will take over there at about the 28-29 yard line. So 8 punts already the Tornado defense has forced. What a job by this defense today. Limiting Methodist to just 4 first downs, 2 of 10 on third down, and thus far just 75 total yards. Meanwhile, Tornadoes offense looking to get going after they've been quieted a bit lately, or to the right. And then a keeper by Hayes. That'll be a sizable gain of about 6 yards. So we'll call it 2nd and 4. So 2nd and 4 from the 35. Quarter number 3. Woods, motion man to the left. And that time, using Cole once again. We've used Dalton Cole. We've seen him used in a variety of ways. And that time, Methodist was all over it. Beckford with the tackle. It'll be a tackle for loss for Bedford, sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina, Westwood High School. And clock continuing to tick away here in the meantime. Call it a loss of 3. So from the 31, 3rd and 8 for Miles Hayes and the Tornadoes. Hayes back to pass. And able to make the play there to Jonathan Woods for the first down. And Woods with a solid catch there, bringing that ball in. Mullins with the tackle. Woods, another graduate student out of Harvest, Alabama. Hails from Alabama A&M, Lee High School originally. And Jonathan Woods giving the Tornadoes another first down. Run play here. Chancellor Lee Parker for no gain, so 2nd and 10. But meanwhile, the clock starting to tick away in the Tornadoes' favor. This drive alone, Tornadoes starting to keep the clock rolling. It started at the 8:51 mark here in this third quarter. 3 wide receivers split out to the near side, 1 to the far side. Hayes. And that's going to be an interception and often running for Methodist. Isaiah McMullins with the interception. So the freshman from Forest City, North Carolina, not all that far from here, Thomas Jefferson Academy with the interception. And just like that, Methodist with its best starting field position by far, deepest penetration, and they haven't even sent their offense out yet after that interception. And the Tornadoes defense, this will be their toughest assignment as of yet. 1st and 10 from the 21. Prelo, Thomas, split out wide. Rush here to the left. And Jerome Bass was there on the defensive end, as was Toby Naylor. So short gain there, 2 yards, 2nd and 8 from the 19. You have a feeling this possession right here very meaningful for perhaps how this game's going to unfold from this point forward. Pass there, in and out of the hands. Hicklin had an opening. Brandon Bullens threw a dart to Hicklin. .5:27 left to play here, quarter number 3. And still trying to get all this sorted out. May have been a penalty on that last play. Pass interference on the Tornadoes, so tough break there, and this is going to make the assignment that much tougher. Taekwon Edie in the backfield for the Monarchs. Pass there, and that's going to be a touchdown for Edie from 5 yards out. Points off turnovers for the Monarchs, taking advantage of the situation after the interception by McMullins. Gave Methodist the ball at the Brevard 20. And Methodist gets on the board for the first time after being shut out. For
Kick is up and good.
40 minutes. The Methodist offense finally getting on the board there with that touchdown to Edie from Bullens. Extra point good by Hargett. 13-7 your score. So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Monarchs after that extra point. This will help the Tornadoes on this kickoff as the Monarchs are backed up. And will have to kick off all the way from their own 20. So this should help matters in terms of field position for the Tornadoes. So from the Methodist perspective, you finally get something positive on the offensive end, and then you shoot yourself in your own foot. The 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Pledger and Hogan deep for the Tornadoes. Also, DJ Taylor deep. Here's Hogan. Hogan makes one Monarch miss, and then he's brought down at the 40. So decent field position for the Tornadoes. They've benefited from this throughout the game. Would probably like to capitalize more on the offensive end from these fortuitous field position situations. Meanwhile, one-score game suddenly, 13-7. And Tornadoes offense will get back to work. Miles Hayes at quarterback. 5:15 to play here, quarter number 3. Interesting formation here for the Tornadoes. 4 NATOs in the backfield. Rush here to Devontae Murray. Murray turns upfield. Stays in bounds, keeps that clock ticking. Call it a 4-yard gain for Murray. Devontae Murray, junior out of Murphy, North Carolina. Hayes drops back and able to find Woods. Brought down by Roderick Christian. So that'll bring up another third down situation. Christian, the senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, Garner Magnet High School. Four minutes to play here, quarter number 3. NATO's 13, Monarch 7. Was not expecting a low-scoring affair in this one, but that's what we've gotten so far. Hayes, back to pass. And able to make the play there. What a read by Hayes. He was under some heavy pressure, able to find the open Devontae Murray. Cool under the collar. Miles Hayes, the graduate student. Very nicely done there. Hayes, by the way, the graduate student from Northport, Florida. Now, last Friday night, he had that big performance, and we talked to Miles on Tornado Talk on Monday night, and his hometown in Northport, Florida, was right in the middle of where Hurricane Ian really had its biggest impact in that southwest portion of Florida. So our thoughts and prayers are with all those. And now, meanwhile, busting away here, a touchdown. Chancellor Lee Parker. Oh, my. Chancellor Lee Parker. A 42-yard touchdown rush. There's 2 Monarchs hurt on the field in the meantime. And Chancellor Lee Parker, just a one-man wrecking crew, and ends up busting loose for 42 yards. Chancellor Lee Parker, we talked to Coach Kyatt about Chancellor Lee Parker as well, and the idea was if he does ever get daylight like this, he's one of the fastest players on the field, and he showed exactly why, but usually don't see him in these situations because he's such a power runner, interior guy, and he's able to bust loose there for 42 yards. And Tornadoes now up 19-7. Meanwhile, injured player on the field. We'll take a quick timeout. Extra point here for Stamati Damalos after the 42-yard rush by Chancellor Lee Parker. And the extra point attempt is blocked. Andrew Bradshaw with the block, and Monarchs trying to get a return going. If they did bring that back, it would have been 2 points. But meanwhile, the blocked extra point, now a flag after the fact. So both teams with unsportsmanlike conduct penalties there. They will offset after a little bit of extracurricular after that extra point attempt. That was blocked, by the way. But Chancellor Lee Parker, 42-yard touchdown rush, his career long in a Tornado uniform, his second touchdown in as many games. And the Tornadoes, what an answer there after Methodist went ahead. Here's Pete. And once again, that kickoff coverage team is there, loud and proud. Mikhail Haynes. Bailey Ramey with the tackle. Freshman linebacker for the Nados. What a job by the special teams kickoff unit. What a day here at Brevard College. Temperature in the mid-60s. Beautiful blue skies. Mountain air. Meanwhile, completion here to Baldwin, and that's a big gainer. And chunk play there is Mikhail Baldwin, sophomore wide receiver from Charlotte, Chambers High School. And that'll be a first down for Methodist. So Methodist's offense, after really being shut down completely in that first half, starting to come alive a little bit. But meanwhile, the Tornadoes able to make a play there. There's a tackle for loss. Koger out of Macon, Georgia. Big time flex there for Koger. Toby Naylor getting a piece of that as well. The senior from Southampton, England. .150 to play here, quarter number 3. Keeper here, and what an open field tackle. James Woods. James Woods, the sophomore from Lincolnton, North Carolina, elevated into the starting lineup. Well, we've talked about limiting Prelo all game, and do want to give a shout out to Jordan Roll, freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. He simulated Prelo all week long in practice. Got these Tornadoes prepared. And the play clock has reached 0. We'll see if they got a timeout called before it did. In fact, that's the case. Methodist timeout, so they'll have to burn a timeout here in the third quarter to avoid the delay of game penalty. Critical third down coming up. Well, place has been rocking once again, not just the drum line, the cheerleaders, NATO, the Brevard College mascot on hand, country music concert, all sorts of festivities. And the only place in Transylvania County that you can get a Chick-fil-A sandwich was right here today at Lamel Family Field. Once that announcement was made by public address announcer Ray Gill, there was a mob scene over there at the concession stand. And then the Chick-fil-A sandwiches flying off the shelves. Well, you can catch them again. Come on out here on October the 22nd versus LaGrange at 3 p.m. That's the next home game. And once again, on a Saturday, the only place in Transylvania County you'll be able to get a Chick-fil-A sandwich right here at Lamel Family Field. Third and 11 for Bullens and company. Bullens back to pass. Pump fake. Now some open real estate for Bullens. He does his best to reach towards the first down marker as he was flying out of bounds there. We'll see the spot here. And it looks like a little short, about a yard short. So decision time here. Now, we've seen Methodist be very conservative on these fourth down opportunities, but this one seems like a no-brainer down 19-7, 4th and 1. Pete and Edie both in the backfield. An I formation's a rarity these days in college football, and able to make the open play there. So a fourth down conversion as Hicklin made the catch. So that'll move the sticks, and the Monarchs will continue this possession. Hicklin, the sophomore out of Charlotte, Olympic High School. 25 and counting on the game clock. Bullens, shotgun, and handoff there. to Edie. A Methodist player has his helmet off, so he'll have to leave the field. That's the center, Nick Wiggins. And substitute checks in for Higgins. Looks like Chris Phillips Jr., the freshman out of Gainesville, Florida, weighs in at 355. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. Meanwhile, quarter can't end on a defensive penalty, so we'll see what this is all about. Flag is picked up, waved off, so that will be, in fact, be the last play of the third quarter. Your score, Tornadoes 19, Monarchs 7.
Probably one of the prettiest places on the earth. And to come to somewhere where it's such a tight-knit community, where everybody has your back, I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else at bigger schools.
I like to go hang out in the coffee shop, sit outside at the picnic tables, maybe do a little bit of homework there, and just socialize because there's always somebody that I know there.
Brevard does make it easy to come here. The admission process is very simple.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Four fingers in the air, fourth quarter about to begin. Tornadoes 19, Monarchs 7. And the Monarchs on the attack here, down to the 1 yard line, first and goal. Direct snap there to Edie, and that'll be a touchdown. Edie's second of the game. So Methodist, as we mentioned, coming alive a bit offensively. There is a late flag. We've seen a number of penalties, both accepted and declined or offsetting in some cases. Many of the unsportsmanlike variety of both these teams. 10 accepted penalties combined between the two teams. This one's on Methodist, an unsportsmanlike penalty. And you can maybe see the rivalry part of this Brevard Methodist series coming into play here in terms of some of this extracurricular. These two teams, a 2-2 all-time record, so 4 meetings, split the 4 meetings. Last 3 meetings have been decided in the last minute of the game. And these two teams not only battle on the field, but they battle in the recruiting wars. Head-to-head for many recruits. There was over 50 recruits here today for Brevard College football. And the winner of this game, in many ways, will have the upper hand when it comes to the recruiting battle. So a lot on the line in all shapes and forms here. Tornadoes and Monarchs, not to mention a record crowd, capacity crowd here at Islamel Family Field. Alumni of all ages, coming back. Fans of all ages enjoying the festivities. And Brevard hanging on to what is once again a one-score game. 19-13 currently the score. Extra point here coming. Hargett will do the honors. Left-footed kicker. Up and good. So 19-14 your score. 5-point ball game. Looks like we're heading to another interesting one down the stretch here in the fourth quarter in this Methodist Brevard series. Your score with 14:54 to play, fourth quarter. Tornadoes 19, Monarchs 14. DJ Taylor and Cooper Hogan deep for the Tornadoes. And there was an unsportsmanlike penalty, and now that realization is made, and they'll back him up. Another 15 yards. So this will certainly help with the Tornadoes field position-wise. Costly, unsportsmanlike penalty on the Monarchs. Undisciplined play after that touchdown. Well, great to hear the drum line, keeping the rhythms going here for the Tornadoes. Hogan and Taylor deep for the Nados. They're lined up at their 20 and 25 yard lines respectively. Now this kick's a dandy over the head of Taylor. Holy smokes. This was a touchback after the unsportsmanlike penalty. That's about as impressive as a kickoff as you will see on the NCAA Division III level. Oh my, that ball traveled a long way off the tee. Trevor Hargett getting it done with that kickoff. We've seen some great plays from the kickoff units of both these teams. Hargett, Nick Akis for the Tornadoes. Fourth quarter, 14:54 to play. And Miles Hayes for the Nados. Dustin Stevens to his left. Hayes hands off to Stevens. Stevens behind some nice blocking in the middle of that offensive line. Big block there from Justin Parker, two-time COSIDA Academic All-District performer. A veteran presence on this ball club. 4-yard gain there for Stevens. 2nd and 6 from the 29. Hayes. And catch is made there by Jonathan Woods. And that'll be a first down. So we'll move the chains. And Hayes able to find Woods. That's Woods, his 4th catch. And that puts Hayes over the 100-yard mark for the day. 15 of 23. Nicely done there. 105 yards now in the air for Hayes. Rush there, gain of 3. Brought down by Josh Hill. junior safety from Alvin, South Carolina, Timberland High School. O'Leary, 5 catches. He's been the number 1 target once again for Hayes. Jonathan Woods, 4 catches. Yoder has a pair as well. 2nd and 7 from the 38. Tornadoes trying to get something going here, but a misplayed snap off the shotgun snap. We'll see who comes up with the loose ball, and it's going to be a turnover. And Methodist able to come up with the loose ball. Roderick Christian. That's a costly turnover for the Tornadoes, especially on that part of the field here in the 4th quarter. And Methodist suddenly with some momentum here after that miscue by the Nados. Officially be recorded as a fumble. So a fumble and an interception here in the second half by the Tornado offense. Be up to the defense now. And just right there on target, Toby Naylor. Oh my. What a sack. Just what the doctor ordered for the Tornadoes. Senior linebacker from England, Toby Naylor. Bulling shaken up on the play, the quarterback for Methodist. We'll keep a close eye on this to see if the backup quarterback may be entering the contest here. Looks like number 16 starting to very quickly warm up as he's might be called into duty. Chase Carroll, sophomore quarterback, Benson, North Carolina native. Yep, he's warming up on that far side in front of those visiting grandstands. As Bulling continues to be looked at by the training staff. Toby Naylor, ladies and gentlemen. Big time sack there. That's the 3rd sack of the day for the Brevard defense. 9-yard loss, so that'll bring up a 2nd and 19. Toby Naylor. Southampton, England. In fact, the NFL, another game in London tomorrow morning. If you want to get up early for a little breakfast with the NFL. Strawberries and cream. Score from men's soccer in case you missed it earlier. Tornadoes 5, Mary Baldwin 2. Unbeaten streak continues for the Nados. And what a day here it's been for homecoming. Really appreciate everybody who helped make it possible and all the alums who came back to campus. Had the chance to meet a couple of women's basketball alumni celebrating their 50th year as a reunion. Members of the 1972 team made their way into the Boschberg Gymnasium, wanted to see where they played back in the early 70s. Great to see folks like that come back here to campus, and hope you can make it back any time of year, not just homecoming, but if you want to make your plans for next year's homecoming, you can probably count on a weekend in early October yet again, and what a time to be here in the mountains. Meanwhile, backup quarterback, in fact, it is in fact Carroll, number 16, and Carroll takes the snap. Passes to Pete in the flat. Pete getting some serious yardage after the catch. Taking on multiple Tornado defenders, eventually brought down by Wyatt Langford. So nice little play call there to get the backup quarterback into it, but flag on the play in the part of the field where holding is typically the call. 12-12 to play here. Quarter number 4, and holding is indeed the call. So just as we were saying, that could create a little momentum for Methodist. Meanwhile, starting quarterback Bullens back in the game. So he just missed one play from scrimmage after leaving the game due to injury. So right back at it. Brandon Bullens, junior quarterback from Kernersville, North Carolina, East Forsyth High School. Rush here, and once again, Toby Naylor. .11:30 to play here. Quarter number 4, 3rd and 28 for the Monarchs. And complete there. And just short of the sticks. But this is going to make the 4th down very manageable. And actually, they're calling this a first down. I don't know if this is correct due to where the down and distance was, in fact, set up. But first down, meanwhile. So just barely made that line of gain, apparently. And pass by Bullens out of bounds. Second and 10 for Bullens and company. Rush here up the middle. Gain of 3. Bring up a 3rd and we'll call it 7. Critical juncture here. NATOs and Monarchs. Bullens. And that'll be incomplete. Great coverage there by the Tornadoes. Tyler Harrison, James Woods, both doing a great job blanketing those Monarchs receivers. And bring out the field goal unit. First time we've seen this group for the Monarchs. This will be from 30 yards out. Hargett to try to make this a 2-point ball game. Kick is up. And no good. Wide right. There was a lot of pressure there from the Tornadoes as far as trying to get a hand on that kick, but looked like it was clean and wide to the right. So Tornadoes able to survive that threat from the Monarchs. After what I still believe is a questionable first down call, I think the referees may have had that spot completely off. It looked like 4th and 2 or 3. But Monarchs were gifted a first down. However, Tornadoes defense able to stop the Monarchs on the next set of downs, and then the missed 30-yard field goal. And 9:51 to play here in the 4th quarter. And rush there by Chancellor Lee Parker. Stop clock out of bounds there. So this will be backed up after a flag. Meanwhile, Yoder checking into the game. So some different personnel for the Tornadoes. And you can just feel the tension starting to grow here. Once again, these two teams, they've played so many close battles the last few years. And looks like we are heading towards another one here. Meanwhile, lateral to Yoder. And Yoder cuts up field, and he's brought down. Brandon Unink's leading the charge there on the offensive line. Hill with the tackle. .8:55 to play here. 2nd and 12 from the 18. Lee Parker in the backfield. Lee Parker takes 3 or 4 Monarchs to bring down Lee Parker. Meanwhile, clock continues to tick. .8:12 to play here, quarter number 4. 3rd down and 8. Hayes back to pass. And in and out of the hands of Zachary Orr. And that'll bring on the punt team for the Tornadoes. Tornadoes scored 10 points in the first quarter, 3 in the second, had a touchdown in the third on a Lee Parker blast. Missed the extra point. Meanwhile, Joe Powell, freshman from Brevard. And a little bit of a tornado bounce there, and it'll be down at the 45-yard line. It'll be good field position for the Monarchs coming back. So the Monarchs will take over here at the 45-yard line. 1-score game, NATOs and Monarchs. Whistle, flag, pre-snap penalty here. It's going to be a false start on the Monarchs.
False start on Methodist.
7:50 to play here, quarter number 4. So that'll back up the Monarchs 5 yards. 1st and 15. Rush here to Pete. And Pete's able to get a sizable gain there. We'll call it an 11-yard gain, 2nd and 4 from the 41. Pete, now 14 carries, 25 yards. He's been limited, averaging less than 2 yards per carry. And there's Pete once again, and Tornadoes Toby Naylor. He has come alive here in this second half. Big play there, and that'll bring up a third down situation yet again for the Monarchs. This will be their 14th third down attempt. They've converted just 3 thus far. And back to pass here. Bullens finding his number 1 target, Prelo, in open space. That's going to be a first down, the 10th first down of the contest for the Monarchs. They, by the way, were held to just 3 first downs in the first half. They have 7 here in the second. So the Monarchs offense has come alive here in the second half. And Prelo with a catch there. So Prelo, who was very limited in that first half, just 3 catches for 9 yards. Able to get that key catch there, that first down there. Naylor once again. Naylor, just an exceptional second half here. Harrison in on that as well. So that'll back up a couple yards. The Monarchs offense. 5:45 to play. Clock starting to become a major factor here as well. Bullens. Baldwin in motion. Pass here was intended to Baldwin. Naylor was there defensively, so Naylor getting it done both on the pass rush and that time the pass defense. And that'll bring up another critical third down. The last third down, Bullens was able to find his favorite target, Prelo. Third and 12. Tornado sideline urging the crowd here at Brevard College up onto their feet. Third and 12. Bullens back to pass. Hicklin wanted a flag, did not get one as he and Pledger got tangled up. Incomplete pass, 4th down. And Methodist bringing out their punting unit once again. Now 4th and 12, this is understandable. However, you got to keep an eye on that clock at this point. 5:21 to play. You may not have another opportunity in this part of the field. But Methodist has stuck to a pretty conservative game plan when it comes to 4th down decisions all game long. And 4th and 12, you can understand this one. Meanwhile, timeout by the Brevard side. 4th and 12 coming up. Fourth and 12 from the 44. You have to wonder if Tornadoes want to be aware of a fake punt opportunity here after a timeout here on 4th down with the punting unit on for Methodist, but it goes right on schedule. Fair caught by Hogan. And the Tornadoes will start deep in their own territory again here, trailing 19-14. .5:16 to play here. Very much the witching hour between these two teams, Tornadoes and Monarchs. 5-point ball game at the moment. Here's Yoder. Yoder continuing to grind it out. Look at Yoder go. An absolutely massive humanity trying to bring down Yoder. What a rush there, Mitchell Yoder. Now, it's worth mentioning, Mitchell Yoder weighs in at only 5'10", 180. And he probably had over 1,000 pounds, maybe close to a ton on top of him there, and he kept on grinding it out. First down rush, Mitchell Yoder. Oh my, 14 yards. And he's right back out there, ready for more. They continue to pound it to Yoder. Yoder now with an opening to the right. Yoder, he's off and running from the 50 to the 40 to the 30. And he's brought down from behind. Big gainer there for Mitchell Yoder. Back-to-back big-time plays. Eventually brought down there by Bradford. Maybe a game-saving tackle there by Bradford on the ankles. What a rush there by Mitchell Yoder. And this is just after he took on 7-8 defenders, it seemed like. You would think in most circumstances you would need a breather after that last play. 42-yard rush by Mitchell Yoder. 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. At the 25-yard line, Mitchell Yoder, part of that Brevard College track program as well. And 49 yards for Yoder. We've seen a couple of big ones by the Tornado backs. Yoder, that 49-yarder. Chancellor Lee Parker had a 42-yard touchdown. Yoder has a touchdown to his credit today as well. There's a timeout on the field, 4:18 to play. Brevard took the timeout. So Tornadoes down to just one timeout. Tornadoes' rushing attack has been substantial. Now sitting on 199 yards rushing for the game. Meanwhile, they've limited Methodist to just 42 yards on the ground. Big storyline here. 4:18 to play, quarter number 4. Rush here to Stevens. And the Tornado run offense continuing to grind it out. That'll put the Nados over 200 yards in team rushing. Under 4 minutes now to play. So the clock, the friend of the Tornadoes, the foe of the Monarchs at the moment. 3:52 to play here. Quarter number 4 and counting. 5-yard rush there. For Stevens. Chancellor Lee Parker this time. Trying to do his best to stay in bounds, and he does exactly that. Nice job by Chancellor Lee Parker. Great was all over him. But somehow, Lee Parker was able to stay in bounds there at the last moment. Keep that clock ticking. .255 and counting. 3rd down for the Nados. And Dalton Cole behind center that time, rushed to the left. He stopped, and then a quick timeout by Methodist to stop the clock. That'll bring up 4th down. Field goal unit comes out. Stamati Damalos. He's made 2 field goals today, both from 28 yards. And this field goal would be critical. Currently ahead by 5 points, would make it an 8-point ball game. Still a 1-score game, but would require a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie. So a field goal make here would go a long way. Official distance will be from 39 yards. And Stamati will line it up from 39. Kick is up. And good. So critical field goal there, but there is a flag. So let's see what this is all about. Make sure we have this sorted out before we go too far here. But in fact, the Tornadoes able to convert the field goal, but another unsportsmanlike conduct on Brevard. That's going to affect things on this kickoff. It's going to give Methodist better field position. And these final 2:40 are going to be compelling, as Methodist is going to have to drive into the end zone and convert a 2-point conversion to tie this game. So upper hand for the Tornadoes after the made field goal, but then shooting yourself in the foot a bit after the unsportsmanlike conduct back in kickoff unit. $15 yards. And kickoff here, Nick Akis called into duty into this role. First time he's kicked off this game since his high school career. And this is going to be very good field position for the Monarchs. And down at the 48-yard line. And just like that, the Monarchs are going to have a relatively short field to deal with, but running out of time here at the same time. 2:36 left to play. The Monarchs do have 2 timeouts remaining. 1 timeout remaining for Brevard. And the witching hour has become that much more spooky here at Lamel Family Field. These 2 teams have a knack for these late game situations. Intended for Prelo, Bullens looking for his number 1 target, but incomplete. Pete from the backfield was running a route as if he was a wide receiver there as well. 2:31 to play here, 2nd and 10. Pass there intended for Prelo once again, and the Tornadoes. Pledger and Dylan James. Great job there on the coverage side of things. And just like that, it's 3rd down, 3rd and 10. Bullens getting the play call from the sidelines. Now 10 on the play clock. Snap to Bullens, 3rd and 10. Bullens taking it himself, scrambling, and he's going to reach the 1st down marker and then smartly go out of bounds. Bullens making something out of nothing after the coverage was there for the Tornadoes defensively in the secondary. But Bullens able to find an opening, scramble, do it with his legs. And that's a first down for the Monarchs. So now at the 42-yard line. First and 10 for Methodist. 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Pass there, and Baldwin with the catch, knocked out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. Jerome Bass was there, covering a lot of ground defensively in coverage that time. Now some new Tornado defensive personnel entering the contest. Trey Williams. Also, Obi Grimes. 1:48 to play here. Second and 6. Bullens. And Pledger with the pass breakup there. It was intended for Tobias Johnson. And Jock Pledger, he's been doing it all game long. The outstanding defensive back from Monroe, Georgia, Walnut Grove High School. One of the more decorated NATOs. And Pledger getting it done there. Another third down situation here.
And it's third down. Let's hear it for your Tornado defense.
1:44 to play here, quarter number 4. Bullens back to pass. Little shuffle pass there, able to find Edie. And Edie's going to move the sticks there, ultimately brought down by Naylor. And heads up play there by Bullens using Edie. 90 seconds to play and counting. Bullens back to pass. First down now for the Monarchs. And trying to go over the top there to Hicklin, defended by Pledger. Pledger was there every step of the way. That'll stop the clock, the incomplete pass. Second and 10. Tension starting to rise here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Defensive Brevard trying to hold off this Monarch attack here. Monarchs trailing by 8. Need a touchdown. Bullens back to pass and was trying to find Baldwin. Baldwin got one hand on it, wasn't able to lasso that in. Naylor was there defensively from his linebacker position. That'll bring up third down. So 3rd and 10 this time around. Bullens getting the play call from the sideline along with Edie.
Fans, it's here for your Tornado defense.
1:22 to play. And that'll be a timeout for Brevard. The final timeout for the Tornadoes, as Tornadoes will regroup defensively. They've been outstanding today. The Tornado defense really shut down Methodist, especially in that first half. You know, the scouting report talked about the star players of Methodist, whether it be Keyshawn Sardin Pete or Kobe Prelo or the quarterback Bullens. All of them have been limited, well below their season averages. And meanwhile, this game coming down to the final minute yet again. We've seen that in the last 3 meetings between these teams. Methodist has won the last 2. There was a thriller a few years back at Brevard Memorial Stadium before football was brought on campus here at Brevard College between these two teams that Brevard won. And this has evolved into a major rivalry between these two teams. Coming out of the timeout, 3rd and 10 from the 29-yard line. Bullens with the shotgun formation. Edie to his right. He's got 3 wide receivers split left. Prelo in motion. And he finds Prelo, his number one target, and Prelo able to get the gain there for the first down, brought down by Naylor. So Prelo has come alive a little more here in the second half after being limited in that first half. Meanwhile, 1:12 to play, 1st and 10. And that'll be a first down. And that'll be second and maybe 4 yards. From the 10-yard line. So 2nd and 4 from the 10. Here in this fourth quarter, just 66 seconds left to play. It's coming down to the final moments in this one. What else would you expect, Methodist and Brevard? Bullens, back to pass. Tipped up and almost picked off. Ball still flying around there. Multiple tips, multiple deflections. Still trying to get this sorted out. Tornadoes are up. And ultimately incomplete. Wyatt Langford came up as if he had caught the interception before that ball touched the turf. Several Tornadoes with an opportunity to pull an interception and put an end to this game. But the ruling on the field is somehow that leather touched the turf. Incomplete. 3rd down, Edie lines up next to Bullens. Methodist running out of chances here. 3rd and 4 from their 10 of Brevard. Pass here, incomplete. Big time breakup there. Jock Pledger along with Tyler Harrison. The secondary of the Tornadoes. What an afternoon. And this is the ball game, folks. 4th down. 4 to go. So you could get a first down without scoring here. But 4th down here. Here we go. Pass there, complete, and that'll move the sticks. Prelo coming up in clutch time. Kobe Prelo. And that'll be 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. So a new set of downs here in a to-goal situation. Bullens rolls out to his right, now cuts to the inside. Bullens reaching for the end zone. No signal yet. Looks like he's just short. And Bullens brought down just near the goal line. We'll call it the half-yard line. This is going to be 2nd and just a couple of feet to go here in the 4th quarter. I'll tell you, folks, these Brevard Methodist matchups, there's something about them coming down to the final wire, and you can't get much closer than this. Bullens well less than a yard, just a couple feet away from the goal line. What an effort there by Bullens trying to score the touchdown himself. That'll bring up 2nd down. Monarchs have 1 timeout in their back pocket. Need to score a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion to tie this game. You'd imagine sort of a goal line formation here for Methodist. They need to punch this in from their perspective. The Tornadoes need to stop. Edie and Prelo in the backfield along with Pete. It's going to be Prelo and the Methodist Monarch star Kobe Prelo able to get a rushing touchdown there. And it's now a 22-20 ball game, 29 seconds left. And the ball game comes down to now a 2-point conversion. What a thriller here at Islamel Family Field on homecoming. Two-point conversion. The game hangs in the balance here on this 2-point conversion attempt by the Monarchs. All the usual suspects for the Monarchs on the field, of course, including Pete and Prelo. Rush here to the right. Bullens taking it in himself, and he's hit. Bullens is stopped. James Woods able to make the stop. And we'll see if there's a flag on the play. James Woods came up big. There is indeed a flag on the field, so hang with us. And Woods with a big-time stop there on Bullens. Bullens was being looked at initially by the athletic trainers. He's now up. And there's a serious conference going on the other side of the field with this officiating crew. I'm sure they want to get this right, as critical of a moment as you could come by. And hang with us here. We'll figure this all out for you. 29 seconds left to play here. Tornadoes 22-20 after what at least appeared to be a stop on the 2-point conversion that would have tied this game. Great job by the Tornadoes secondary to tie up the coverage there. And Bullens then tries to take it himself. James Wood makes the one-on-one tackle. Then there was a flag thrown. And now there's going to be a conversation with the Methodist head coach. Crowd is starting to get anxious here. And we'll see what the call is here. The flag is waved off. The celebration begins here at Islamel Family Field. A clean tackle for James Woods. A backflip for Dylan James. Tornadoes celebration beginning in an absolute thriller here at Islamel Family Field. Tornadoes 22, Monarchs 20. The 2-point conversion stop by James Woods. Woods, the sophomore from Lincolnton, North Carolina, elevated into the starting lineup, and with the play of the game this afternoon. Now, there is still signs of life here. An onside kick would be the natural play here for Methodist, down by 2 points. And a different kicker onto the field for Methodist. That's Sam Andre. So you'd imagine Methodist has dialed this up before, at least in practice. Samuel Andre, the kicker from Pendleton, South Carolina, will tee it up. .29 seconds to play. Onside kick coming. Andre, hand up. And it's an effective onside kick, and then just missing the Monarch player out of bounds. That should seal it. Kenneth Hicklin was right there. Dialed up nicely by Andre. And onside kick goes out of bounds. And the Tornado celebration can start in earnest now. You see right next to the coach's box here. And big time win here. Clutch time for the Tornadoes. And a kneel down there. And that should just about do it, down to 20 seconds. Head coach Bill Kyatt, general manager Martin Bayless. Great job by this coaching staff of the Tornadoes. Great job by these Tornado student athletes. As the time ticks away here and the Tornadoes win 22-20. What a ball game here on homecoming at Lamel Family Field. Tornadoes move to 2-0 in the USA South Conference. And the momentum will continue for the Tornadoes. What an effort here. What a ball game we were privileged to witness. Came down to a final play, a 2-point conversion. And even after the Tornadoes were able to get that stop, things were in question for a moment there after that flag was on the field, but flag ultimately waved off and the Tornadoes celebration begins. Big time win for the Tornadoes. Critical win as far as the tone of the rest of this season goes. And Brevard now with a 2-0 record in USA South Conference play. Stick with us. We'll be bringing you all the stats. We'll break down this wild affair. Once again, Brevard and Methodist. Homecoming 2022. Final score, Tornadoes 22, Monarchs 20. back here at Islamel Family Field as everyone's trying to collect their collective breath after an absolute thriller between Methodist and Brevard. Tornadoes take the 22-20 win. The scoring all started way back in the first quarter. Tornadoes, Stamati Damalos able to get the field goal, 28-yard field goal, capping off a 7-play, 37-yard drive. That gave the Tornadoes a 3-0 lead. Yoder then had a 1-yard touchdown run to put the Tornadoes up 10-0. Then Damalos hit another field goal, 13-0, the score at halftime. Brevard's defense absolutely blanked Methodist offensively in that first half. I mean, they were lights out in that first half, holding Methodist to just 3 first downs, 37 total yards, and limiting their star players, Prelo with just 3 catches for 9 yards. Pete had only 16 yards rushing at the half. And the quarterback, Bullens, was 4 of 12 for 15 yards at the half. So the Tornado defense in half number 1 absolutely took care of business. And they continued that throughout the second half as well. Great day for the Tornadoes defensively. Methodist, however, started to gain some momentum in that second half. Edie with a touchdown on a Bullens pass after a turnover by the Tornadoes. That made it a 13-7 game. Then Chancellor Lee Parker, what an answer. A 42-yard rumble to put Tornadoes back on top, 19-7. Early in the fourth quarter, Edie scored again, this time on a 1-yard run. That capped off an 8-play, 65-yard drive for Methodist, 19-14 the score. Tornadoes drove down the field late in the fourth quarter, had an opportunity to make this an 8-point ball game, and Stamati Damalos did exactly that, drilling a 39-yard field goal to put Brevard ahead 22-14. And then Methodist drove down the field a 15-play, 52-yard drive in the final 2 minutes of this ball game. And Prelo used in the backfield this time with a 1-yard run, makes it a 2-point ball game. And 2-point conversion, great job by the Tornadoes secondary to defend all those receiving options for the quarterback Bullens. Bullens tries to take it himself, and James Woods making the play of the game, a tackle in the open field. There was a flag on the field, but it was eventually waved off. And James Woods, the sophomore defensive back from Lincolnton, North Carolina, who, by the way, the Tornadoes, we've talked about how good their pass defense was and their defense was today. 2 key starters out for this game. So 2 members of that starting lineup on that defensive backfield, Cam Moore and Montrell Stinson, were both out. And the Tornadoes stepped up. Just an outstanding play by guys like Woods, Pledger, Dylan James, KJ Dagout. And the Tornadoes able to get the play that mattered most, that 2-point conversion with just 29 seconds on the clock. One last chance for the Monarchs in the form of an onside kick attempt. And despite a good-looking kick itself, unable to come up with that, celebration ensues at Islamel Family Field. And what a celebration. It'll continue to be here in Brevard as Homecoming 2022 continues to roll on. Well, let's take a look at some of the team statistics. total yards in favor of the Tornadoes, 337 to 237. Methodist actually ultimately had the advantage in the passing yards, 178 to 135. What a day by the Tornado ground attack. Guys like Yoder, Chancellor Lee Parker, Devontae Murray, all adds up to 202 yards rushing compared to just 59 for Methodist. Now, Methodist really came alive in this first down category. After just 3 in the first half, they had 11 in the second. 2 turnovers by the Tornadoes. They were able to overcome that. And then the Tornadoes dominated time of possession. Big-time win for the Tornadoes on so many levels. Not just this being homecoming and wanting to do this in front of a record crowd here at Islamel Family Field. Alumni from all sorts of past years here to witness this. This win gives the Tornadoes a very favorable situation in the USA South Conference standings, now up there with a 2-0 record. Next up at Huntington, a game between the two powers in the USA South Conference at the moment. That's next Saturday, 2 p.m. down in Alabama. And the Tornadoes return home versus LaGrange. But, we mentioned the USA South implications, obviously a feel-good scenario here with the homecoming festivities. But as we talked to Coach Kyatt pregame, this game is big in the recruiting wars as well. More so than any other team in the USA South, Brevard competes head-to-head with Methodist for football recruits. Methodist won the last 2 meetings between these two teams. Today, Brevard with the upper hand, and there were over 50 recruits here for the Brevard College football program today, and they got to witness a win over their rival Methodist. A lot of work still to do for this team with 5 more games on the schedule beginning next week at Huntington, but what a start to USA South Conference competition. Now 2-0 in USA South Conference play. Well, a few more individual numbers for you. Miles Hayes, starting quarterback for the Tornadoes, he went 15 of 24 for 105. Bullens, the quarterback for Methodist, 19 completions, 39 attempts, 176 total yards and a touchdown. Dalton Cole also had a pass for 30 yards. Cole had a carry as well and 3 catches for 16 yards. Mitchell Yoder, big day for him, 13 carries, 123 yards, including that long of 49, has a touchdown as well. Chancellor Lee Parker for the second consecutive game scored. He had a 42-yard touchdown, 6 carries for 49 yards. Devontae Murray, 5 for 17. Dustin Stevens, 6 for 13. Jaden O'Leary, again, the leading receiver for the Tornadoes, 5 catches for 37 yards. Methodist Pete, their star running back, was limited to just 30 yards on 15 carries. Bullens did a lot of work with his legs, including trying to convert a 2-point conversion at the end there. 7 for 22 yards. Prelo, the star wide receiver and return man for Methodist, 10 catches for 68 yards. Hicklin had 4 catches for 58 for the Monarchs. Interesting story as well, the Tornadoes special teams units. Pledger had a nice return, as did Cooper Hogan, a 45-yarder to start this game. Joe Powell, his first start at punter, 4 punts for an average of 41, including a long of 61. Stamati Damalos, we mentioned him as far as that key field goal that made this an 8-point game. He hit on 3 field goals in this contest. And Nick Akis, called into duty to handle the kickoff role, and he did it masterfully, especially limiting the exciting kick returner for Methodist, Prelo. So great job overall. Also that kick return defense doing a great job. And it all adds up to a 22-20 win as the Tornadoes get it done in all three phases. Well, that'll just about do it for this homecoming celebration at Brevard College. What a week it's been. Women's soccer last night, men's soccer on the road today had a win. All the fall sports in action. Hall of Fame inductions, congratulations to them. Tristan Cowie from cycling, the 1982 cross-country national championship team celebrating their 40th anniversary. We also had the 1979 men's basketball team that made a deep run in the national tournament here on hand. Great help from Brevard College alums Ray Gill. Big thanks to him as far as organizing a golf tournament for the baseball program this morning. Then he hustled down here to handle public address duties. We had the invocation from another Brevard College alum, Sherrod Kreisman. We had the national anthem from Brevard College alumna, local actress Lily Bartleson. We had a pregame concert. Cody Sinyard providing the tunes during the pregame tailgate concert. And a record crowd here with the drum line and the cheerleaders, NATO, the mascot, and all sorts of alums on hand to witness a thriller at Eyes LaBelle Family Field. We want to thank all those who helped us behind the scenes, members of the women's lacrosse program, members of the men's lacrosse program, Joseph Marvin pushing all the buttons. And thank you, NATO Nation, for continuing to follow and support Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Tornadoes will be on the road next weekend at Huntington. Our next home football game will be versus LaGrange, 3 p.m. right here at Eyes LaBelle Family Field on October the 22nd. Thanks again for joining us for this special edition of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. I'm Phil DeMontmollin signing off. Your final score for the final time, Tornadoes 22, Monarchs 20. Go Tornadoes!